Welcome to the Enlighten Up podcast, where I am going to take you into a deep exploration of what it means to exist in this current reality. We are going to raise your vibes, open your mind, expand your heart, and dive deep into the wondrous mysteries and possibilities of this lifetime. There's been a spiritual catalyst that has set in motion the awakening process of many across the globe to return to the knowingness of self and unite what has been separated. Together, we're going to bring light into that darkness. We're going to remember the joy of living. But most of all, we're going to turn up the volume of our own eternal power and do the thing we're here to do. Welcome back to the Enlighten Up podcast, everyone. I'm super excited to bring back a dear friend of mine, Pamela DS, who is the founder of Spirit Calling, which is a thriving community offering classes, tools, and a nurturing space for members to heal their mind, body, and spirit. Pamela is a seasoned creative intuitive and a trance channeler, which allows her to possess a unique skill set, allowing her to tap into the vision of others, guiding them authentically, while also the channeling involves raising her vibration to connect with angelic beings, channeling divine guidance, and messages for the community. Pamela, it's so good to have you back, darling.
It's so good to see you. It's always great to hang out with you. We always have so much fun together.
Yeah, so you've been on quite a growth journey since really kind of stepping into this role. I remember, was it 2020 or 2021 when we stepped, or was it 2022? When did we really
I think it was 2020. I think it was maybe like the end of 2020 into 2021, because that's when Yannick was having his groups. And that's how I met you. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And so you've really kind of embraced your psychic abilities now, and you're really helping to guide others through their own awakening, their own spiritual journey.
Yeah.
What have you noticed in the own awakening from what you've been experiencing, people in your community, your clients, just even in your audience?
I've just seen this rapid, quick shift that's been happening recently. So yeah, I stepped into this fully in January of 2024, and oh, what a wonderful wild ride it has been. 2024 was like an amazing year of like coming out as, you know, a spiritualist, as coming out as a spiritual community leader, of owning that, feeling it, owning it, because it's one thing to say that about yourself, but when you're able to actually tap into other people's guides, provide them with guidance that changes their life, and you start seeing how people look at you, and then you start saying, oh my God, yes, this is my soul's purpose. There's like an ownership shift that happens, an embodiment, right, as we say. And it's really literally my greatest joy. I just love working with people. I love it so much. It's what I want to do for the rest of my life. And when I can see that light in someone's eyes, I can see that I understand what it is, or the guides, or there's some sort of, a switch that goes off. Because sometimes when I channel, or when I work with people, or when I'm just downloading myself, or when I go into my state and channel their guides, there's things that they've never said to anyone. They've never vocalized it. They've never shared it. It's their innermost thoughts or desires that come to the forefront. And it's like, aha, that aha, like wow moment. And to be able to make like a light bulb, or just like something go off in them to change the trajectory of their life. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's really incredible.
Oh, it's amazing work. And I mean, when you love it, it's just fuel to your own fire, right?
Yeah.
So how do you feel about 2025 so far? Like, what's your assessment so far?
Well, let's see. I mean, individually and collectively, it's already been kind of crazy. We are at the end of March, right? And it's taken off. It's a wild ride already. So with my individual experience, so many new realizations of, my work, what it is I'm supposed to do this year. So many alignments that I didn't know came out of, nowhere, or, they didn't come out of nowhere, but they revealed themselves. And I've seen new ideas, new collaborations, new partnerships. That's what my year of 2025 is. It's collaboration, it's connection, and it's partnerships with partners, with organizations, with people, with energies. It's with everything. It's an all encompassing word. Um, but that's on the other side of that is this expansion in consciousness that's on this fast track for 2025. So we came into this with so much gusto, with change in our government, change in our entertainment industry, change in the world, change in, the planets, change that we all feel inside of us that we're trying to navigate and understand. So we're all kind of trying to understand where we stand with the world, but then where do we stand with ourselves? What is it that we want for our life? And of a lot of the times, when I'm teaching in my community, people are learning their power. They're learning the art of manifestation, the art of understanding they are the creators of their reality. They are understanding their words are power, their thoughts are power. They are understanding how to show up in the world in a different, more powerful way for themselves, which affects others. So, with all of that knowledge and that conviction and the way that the world responds to that, then the big things come up on the plate to be reviewed. What am I doing with my work? What am I doing in this relationship? What am I doing with this? What am I, they come up so that's change, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 2025, I believe, is the year of change. Now, with our world and the channel messages that I provide to the community and I put out into the larger community, into the world on my YouTube and my platforms, 2025 is a great year of change, a profound year of transformation, not just in the government that we've seen in our individual worlds, but in entertainment, in politics, in there's going to be most likely going to be a war this year. I've heard you say it too. I've channeled messages of sudden and unexpected experiences that are coming to the United States. Lots of unexpected events. So the guides want me to continually teach their lessons, to raise your frequency, to raise your vibration, to raise your individual frequency so that you can ascend with ease, so that can experience all of this with more ease, to navigate through the waves of change with more ease. And that's just in your regular life and when these chaotic times come, right, Nicole?
Yeah.
It's like, when I often say, you don't want to be like a bowling pin. You don't want to be knocked down and just taken over. And you want to know that you are strong in your conviction. You are strong in your energy body. You are strong in your understanding. You are strong in your beliefs. You are strong in how you're showing up. So you're not going to just fall over and be succumbed by that wave of chaos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, 2025 is a very revealing year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, there's a lot of change. Every planet that
Mm.
is in the outer, I mean, obviously all the personal planets, the closer ones to us, are always changing signs. But all the outer ones change into different signs this year. And that's a big deal. That's not something we usually ever experience,
Yeah.
not to have all of them. So, that in itself, there's a lot of different energetic changes coming in, but it has a very revealing energy to it,
Yes.
where I don't want to say, I actually don't even want to say the veil is getting lifted. It's
Mm-hmm.
almost like, the buried is being exhumed, right?
It is.
It's like
Mm-hmm.
something's like it's coming out of the ground. Whatever's been buried, whatever's been like hidden in the
Yes.
underground, right? It's
Yes.
really kind of coming up to the surface.
Yes.
So it's going to be a very revealing year of things that were done in hiding darkness,
Mm-hmm.
secrecy, that have not been serving humanity well.
No.
And I think we're already seeing that with a lot of what has been exposed through one of the biggest money laundering
I know.
scandals through the government here, in the United States. It's just absolutely bonkers. I mean, I personally was expecting to see that, but not at
Yes.
the level that I mean, even I'm like, it's so blatantly obvious a money laundering scheme. Like, oh my, there wasn't even like an attempt to kind of hide it, It was almost
No.
like it was in your face making fun of you, like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's
Right in
outright.
front of our eyes.
Yeah,
Yep.
I know. It's like
Yeah.
they're not even trying to hide it in the details, It's
No.
so but that's how long they've been getting away with it that it just doesn't
Mm-hmm.
they didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
So to have a disruptor now in office, whether you like him or not, is totally disrupting things and
Oh, major disruptor.
not
Mm-hmm.
just in this country, but in all other countries.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so a lot is going to be revealed, and that's very necessary. We can't move forward until we're willing to look at the things we haven't even known existed.
Absolutely. And we're not
Yeah.
going to have a choice. We are going to see the ways in which our world was created. We're
Hmm.
going to, it's all going to be revealed. Do you want me to read the
Yeah, yeah,
2025?
go
Yeah,
ahead.
I was just looking for it. I think it would be really impactful to read it. So it says, your year of 2025 indeed will be a whirlwind year filled with ups and downs. Things that you do not expect will come out of nowhere, and you will be positioned into the space of not understanding what is before you. The calculated efforts of the two party system that you so frequently label as your government is breaking down in front of your eyes. You will see the sharing of critical information that will show your world that your people in control of the government, lifestyle brands, the media and news, the entertainment and sports industries, they are all false and not real. They are people who have signed contracts and relinquished their soul or their self, as you would say, not only to the position of power and fame, but to the controllers of your world. There will be a breakdown of all things in the music and entertainment industries. You will see the media slam them and act as if they are not to blame or have nothing to do with those circumstances. The real truth of who you are and how your species is positioned on this planet will be revealed. It will be devastating to many who witness, but it must be witnessed for the huge consciousness shift to happen in your world. For with that consciousness shift, all will be revealed and shown to the world. Some will not stand it. It will throw your people of the United States into a fury. Others will not withstand the shock. And for within that shock, other devastating experiences will be happening in your United States of America. There will be a sudden attack of your US that seems to have come out of nowhere, but it will have been positioned from within your country, inside of your US. A calculated effort that was created with the slow advancements of the other countries in an effort to take over your world. There will be simultaneous events that are transmitted on your televisions, in the news, and in media showing images of explosives and attacks upon your people, your cities, and your governments, all having devastating results on your country. People will not know what to do, where to go, how to be positioned into safety, or what that means for your freedoms. They will need a place to have understanding and know what is coming next. We are positioned to be there, deliver of messages for the masses through you and your portal. Please make sure you understand that these things are happening very quickly and all at once. And that's what we have heard many times from different people, that it's quickly, it's all at once. And I often say like timelines are affected by everyone's choices, by every single decision that's made every single moment. So it could happen this year, it could happen next year, who knows? But I've seen that since 2020, since I met you. So I've seen all of these things over and over again, all different kinds of these things. So to hear them, they really don't get into specifics. They don't really get this like they're kind of like really strongly saying this in a way they hadn't before. So when I hear your astrological, you talk about the alignments, the things that are happening that haven't happened before, and the things that certain planets are associated with, the explosives is a word people have been saying, and I'm like, I know I said that in the 2025 predictions video, so they connect for me. They make sense to me.
Yeah, and I think we've got a Mars Pluto opposition coming in. Our third one, our final one. I think it's like the end of April, early May, somewhere in there, where Mars is leaving Cancer and going to be entering into Leo, which means it's going to be opposing Pluto and Aquarius.
Hmm.
And we had that at the beginning of the year in early January, where we saw all the wildfires in California,
Yes.
right? We saw
Hmm.
that. We also had that just before the election.
Right.
But the difference is with the one at the election, I believe Pluto was still in Capricorn. So Mars, Cancer, Capricorn, whereas this one, we will have another Leo, Aquarius. So it's, there's a lot happening with explosives in the sense that Mars in Leo, Mars obviously brings this it's very eruptive,
Hmm.
it loves conflict, it's war based, it's like wants
Hmm.
to fight, it's inspired to into action. So with Mars right now, we're getting that very patriotic vibe,
Mm.
Mars in Cancer. But once it moves into Leo, um, this is going to spark like leadership, because Leo is very much about very passionate leadership. And so there could be where, the possibility, because it's a fire sign too, and Mars can be explosive, where we see such explosive from leadership that is
Hmm.
opposing society, like is posing where, like, what we want. So
Hmm.
who knows how it's going to really show up. And I do believe that, like you said, everything that we're choosing, and it comes down to your very simple day-to-day choices,
Yeah.
your perspective, your outlook, your mindset, your heart base, energy, all of that can start influencing everything to either amplify that energy or minimize that energy,
Hmm.
right? Start to take some power out of it. Who really knows how it's gonna to unfold? But what I think is really interesting is in July, Uranus, the planet of shock and awe and change and liberation and revolution and all of that innovation, is going to be moving into Gemini. And Gemini very much rules like the news, right? It's where we get our information. And
Yes.
so who knows what's going to happen, but this is where we're going to be shocked for
Hmm.
many years to come on what's in the news, what information is
Right.
surfacing, how we're getting our information. There's probably going to be new ways that we finally like get our news. Whereas obviously we've seen it evolve from like the newspaper to online to videos and all of that, TV, but it's gonna be very different now. Like
Hmm.
we're gonna see something really big come out in that area.
Hmm. I agree. I agree.
It's with the music industry. There's a lot happening here, and there's a lot that's getting revealed. And I think that what's going to be almost shocking people into a state of almost so much shock that you don't even know what you just
Yeah.
heard,
Hmm.
like,
That's it. Hmm.
and
Yes.
that's going to be hard for a lot of people. I think that when a lot of this drops, it's not going to have the impact that maybe a lot of people think, where people are going to like, oh, finally, like we need justice, we need whatever. I think there's going to almost be a recoil back to like, how could this even be true?
Hmm.
You know?
Yes. Yes. How could this be? This is too out there. This is too far gone that it can't possibly be true.
Yeah.
And it's like you and I and others like us, we understand it. We know it all. We've seen it. We don't even discuss it. Like there's knowings that I have about the way our world was created. I know lots of things that I don't talk about it every day. I don't share it because it's so far out there that it's just exactly how you described it. It can't be believed. It can't even be fathomed. You can't
Hmm.
they can't wrap their mind around it. But that's what's coming out. And it's interesting through the use of social media, the fast social media that we have, TikTok, all of those things. So much is being delivered so quickly now and shared and spread. So even my youngest and my two kids are 22 and 19. They're sending me stuff. They are waking up so quickly because they're seeing all these things that they didn't see before only because of their age, but now because of social media, expanding them and showing the underbelly of the music world or all the the things of our food industry and our healthcare or whatever. Um, but there are, like the guide said, people who have sold themselves, their souls themselves for the fame, I almost feel sad for those people because I don't believe from what I've seen in my visions and stuff that they really understood what they were doing, that they really understood the level of what they were getting themselves involved in. And it's like, they didn't really understand that it was their soul because it is their soul. There's rituals, there's things you have to do in that are, out in public and things that are not in public. But that's energy. That affects your energy body. That affects how you feel about you. It affects that opens you up to other energies. Like that's what that means.
Hmm.
It's taking over you and you being in control and in power of yourself. There's another power that's controlling you. So
Yeah.
it's the opposite of that. And we don't want that to exist, obviously, in our world. And I say this all the time, that lower frequency that is, entangled in everything is breaking up now. So that web is loosening and that light is starting to come through. And it has to. There's no other way to get to this new earth energy, to this new beautiful place that we know is on the other side of all this, except to go through it. So those truths need to be revealed.
Yeah. And, as a result, we, whatever we're seeing on a large scale is also happening on a personal
Hmm.
scale in our own worlds in a different way, in a different kind of format, but we can expect to see it. So, for instance, like, what we're seeing is the fall of some leaders, maybe many
Hmm.
leaders, that people were held in high regard or were believed to be doing like these incredible things.
Hmm.
And, I think to think you're in a position, if you think you're on the right side of history right now, don't think you're not exempt or think you're
Hmm.
exempt from experiencing this in your own life. Um, because even myself recently, I just experienced a realization with someone who I looked up to in my own world,
Hmm.
okay, a mentor who I realized isn't perhaps, I don't want to say that they're not who I thought they were. I don't think that's fair to say, but that their level of mentorship is certainly not at the level that I was maybe perceiving it to be. And that realizing that maybe people, one, we can outgrow people, right? We can
Hmm.
outgrow even our own mentors
Hmm.
and teachers and all of that, which, that's totally normal.
Yes.
But also, I experienced a little triggering, meaning I think I triggered this person to take an approach with me that was to kind of, how do I say this? Make me feel dumb.
Hmm. But
And
the opposite is true. You
And
were seeing it in a different way.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I was like, this is so off base, but I felt like I couldn't, no, I don't want to say I couldn't call it out. I could call it out, but
Hmm.
my instinct was don't just let it ride and then just never return.
Correct.
Right. And
Hmm.
let it be. It doesn't, for me, I could say something, but I don't really need to impress that upon the person.
Right.
I just know it's what's true for me and I can just walk away. It's kind of
Hmm.
like people who feel like they need to leave a comment under your video, like whenever
Right.
they say they don't agree with something, I'm leaving and I'm never coming back. And it's like, that's okay. Like you can
Go. It's
leave.
good.
Like you
Go
don't have
ahead.
to say it. I mean, you can say it, but it's
Right.
like, you know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
so it was in one regard, my initial response was, this is kind of disappointing. I didn't expect this person to kind of go that way.
Hmm.
But then I realized, well, maybe this is a positive thing because it's making me realize that one, I'm much further ahead or along in my own path than
Hmm.
I maybe I gave myself credit for. And it just means I'm meant to be somewhere else. I'm not meant to be
Absolutely.
taking in that information. Have you been
Hmm.
experiencing anything like that or
Oh my
seen that?
God. I just had the same exact thing happen. The
Really?
same exact thing happen. Hmm.
Would you
Yeah.
tell?
Yes. Yeah, I did. Someone that is a dear friend of mine and a mentor to me. I had always held, and I still do, but in a different light, like you just said, in a certain place. And I never asked this person ever for help. Ever. I've never asked them for help. I've always known they wanted to and they would, and then they extended themselves to me. And it was the first time that I asked for help. And I felt like it was given, but with the conditions,
Mm.
and almost like it was like they did it a certain way to just kind of make it go away. And it made me feel like, well, I'm not supposed to say it made me feel. What I witnessed was that I had a higher understanding of the situation, and that if there was really a true intention to support the mission of the person that was on the other side of it, that you, if no matter what you are, whether you're going to work forever or you're going to retire, you pass the torch because you have the same mission, you have the same convictions, you have the same vision of what you want to create for the world. You pass the torch, you support and you guide and you nudge, you do what you need to do.
Hmm.
And I that wasn't there. And was like, oh, okay, I see this for what it is. I understand. I don't need to say, because I was going to say, I was going to, everything you just said, I was going to do. And I didn't need to
Yeah.
because I understood. I had an understanding. And so it's the teacher, like you surpass the teacher, whatever that saying is. It's vibrational. You just had a huge shift recently that you and I talked about on my podcast. So your consciousness, your vibration, your understanding, everything shifted in a new way to be received, to be seen. And that is the evolution of our soul,
Yeah.
and yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it is. And it's like what was so interesting to me was I often looked to this person like, wow, they're such incredible intuitive reader,
Hmm.
and they couldn't have been so more far off what
Hmm.
I was dealing with or needing help with. And the advice was so beneath what I actually like. It was like I mean, like I could have I all I want to say was like already been there, done that. Like that, like way past that,
Hmm.
And so it's I think, what can happen, and this is, look, this is what's going like I talked about on your podcast with Neptune going into Aries, we're going to see, the certain spiritual leaders rise. Some will be in the true authentic nature of that, like really aligned with things and what is greater good, and some will be false. You're going to
Hmm.
see false prophets. You're going to see false leaders, who are really just out to be charismatic and kind of wooing, you off your feet, so to speak. And so this was kind of already a taste for me of like what that is going to be
Mm-hmm.
bringing forward. And so I was like, oh, that energy is coming forward very soon, like in like a few days, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we naturally, you're already going to be feeling it. It doesn't need to act, Neptune doesn't need to be right in Aries, for it to happen, although it can be. But look, the energy is so close. Not surprised this stuff is already beginning to happen. But this is something
Mm-hmm.
that everyone is going to likely encounter on some level. And I what is interesting is when you're in a spiritual position of mentorship or leadership in some way, if you're used to being the teacher, it can sometimes blind you to your own blind spots, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Or I should say this. We're all human. We all make mistakes. I certainly do, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but to impose something on someone that is maybe what you want them to see versus what is actually true
Mm-hmm.
is a big character flaw in someone who's leading spiritually and in healing. So,
It is. That's
yeah,
not leading. That's not
no.
being in tune to what you're supposed to be doing.
Hmm.
That's going within to what you think rather than connecting to the person that you're working with,
Yeah,
right? It's the opposite of that.
yeah. And I always think it's important to say, if you don't know, say you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no shame in that.
Right.
I'd rather tell someone, you know what, I'm not getting a good read
Mm-hmm.
right now. I don't know. Than just make shit up, or just say stuff just to fill air that might be useful, but isn't really like tailored to that person, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, that keeps you in authenticity always. I'd rather do that all day long,
Yeah.
or be more conservative, or maybe ask a question just to be vulnerable yourself too, because like you said, we're just human. We're just using our skills and trying to support someone else. It's not about anything other than that.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. And I
Hmm.
think also here's what the big lesson is, and this will be something that I think a lot of people will realize if they encounter this kind of situation in their life, which I think is inevitable with Neptune moving into Aries.
Hmm.
Um, this usually happens when you need to really trust yourself more. Because it is the leader, it is Neptune coming into Aries is all about your own spiritual identity. It's your
Hmm.
own leadership spiritually, like taking every healing lesson, spiritual teaching that you've been going through while Neptune was in Pisces, and now embodying it, using that discernment, using all of that to shape your path, and not so much lean on others. Not that you can't do that, but
Right.
to define that, to strengthen that muscle in the real world applications where you take action.
Hmm. Where you get to flex a muscle.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
have to.
totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's totally a spiritual flex, like
Hmm.
that muscle with Neptune in Aries, because you got to move with it now.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a
That's the
big
big
one.
thing. Yeah, I think that's the overriding concept here is that you've got to be able to move with it. You got to be able to pivot with it. Got to be able to understand, to tune in to what move you're going to make, and not sit there like
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited by it, but it's really I feel like this year's moving. We talked about this before, very very quickly.
Yes.
It's very 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 quickly, and then the shifts like especially if you're just learning to step into your living with your spirit first and really handing over the keys and just letting spirit drive. If you're just starting to do that, watch how fast, watch how fast everything aligns for you because it's just, it's comes out of nowhere.
Hmm.
And I believe that that's that's for a reason because we've got important things to do quickly before things really get kind of crazy. But spirit really wants
Before
people
they
to.
get crazy.
I know they're already there,
Crazier.
baby. Getting crazier. But spirit really wants you to work on your vibration, really wants you. I mean, I have conversations all day long, every day. Like my best friend and I are going back and forth with this happened and this connection happened. And oh my God, did you see what this means? And, she'll get a download and I'll have the same download, or we'll have the same vision, or we'll meet this person. And it's like the same it's incredible. And it's speeding up, speeding up and speeding up. And I swear it was Friday, yesterday, like the days are coming so quickly.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
We're already 3 months into 2025.
Hmm.
It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if this is because I'm just getting older or, like what it is, but time never like moved this fast. But that's kind of part of, where we're going. Obviously, when the frequencies start rising, time starts to collapse
Hmm.
as we know it.
Hmm.
So that's a big thing. So I'm curious because with Neptune moving into Aries, this is going to be a time where people really do need to, the foot has to hit the pavement when it comes to their spiritual path and
Hmm.
their own journey.
Hmm.
You really kind of fully came out of the closet last year, with your family
Yes.
and friends. And
With
what
everyone but
was,
my family and friends.
what was that like navigating it?
It
Because I know you didn't
was,
have the warmest reception.
no, it was, I kind of teeter in two different worlds. So I run a marketing and branding firm with my business partner. I have four employees, clients in corporate and right, like all in different sectors. And so I'm in business groups and in networking events, and I'm, all buttoned up and polished and all the things. And then there's Pamela, who is a trans channeler, who is on podcasts and who's channeling the messages of the Great Council of Light, and who is all woo woo and light and all those things. And those worlds started merging last year. I would say halfway through the year, because every time I would go to a networking event, because of my light, I'm a very magnetic person in general. I connect with people whenever I walk in a room. I'm the person everyone comes to. So now it's like spirituality is just, I'm at a networking event and spirituality comes up and meditation and consciousness, and like it's everywhere I am now. So I find myself handing out all my cards. Like I have to go with both cards no matter where I am. And I talked about this on Next Level Soul. I really didn't come out of the closet. I came out of the closet in a big way by going on Next Level Soul. 189,000 people already watched that episode just
Mhm.
on YouTube. He's, on all these different podcasting, streamed everywhere else. I don't really talk about it with my family. They don't really ask questions. The one person who probably knows the most is my brother, and he doesn't really dive into it. He kind of skims the surface. They don't understand. My family's mostly Italian, built on religion, and everyone is wonderful, and that's all great. But they're not into spirituality. They just don't think that it's a viable solution. They think religion is where everyone should be, and that's great and that's fine.
Mhm.
But it's not what I believe in, and I've always been sort of in different spaces as the creative, as the artist and musician, as the person who's dressing up in spacesuits with mohawks and singing Bowie on stage to thousands of people. I've always been different. So it's just kind of like accepted from me. But now my soul has been pushing me so deeply into just being into the spiritual space that, my business partner knows my intentions, and we're having conversations to discuss what that looks like. And like when I left my marriage in 2014, I knew my contract was over. I wasn't fully 100% awake yet, Nicole. Like I was going through my awakening journey at that point, but there was this pull of the understanding of love, of love. This isn't love, and love, there's more love and all kinds of love available to me without this restriction that didn't feel in alignment. That's the only way I could understand that at that point. And it took me several years, about 3 years, to finally find the courage to exit out of my marriage with love
Mm.
as an example of love, love at the forefront. And, but I knew that I can only describe it as this. I knew that there was a window that was closing. I could feel it tightening. I could feel the window getting smaller and smaller. It was a timeline. It was a timeline. Like I could feel it. And it's, to me, it's the way the energy shows me that it's time now, Pamela. It's time. It's time. It's time. I remember being in the corner of my office in a ball, crying in extreme, like just releasing and surrender to the universe of, I have to do this. I have to do this. And I did it, and everything changed after I left my marriage. My entire life changed. My entire trajectory of my life changed. I became who I am now. I was in there. I just wasn't, it wasn't at the forefront.
Yeah.
I'm feeling that window close again. I
Mm.
have felt it start in a big way, maybe probably 4 months ago. So it's, I can no longer do both. It is time to me. And that's also not so much a window closing. It is, I've always seen myself just going bloop, bloop. So we talk about exit strategies and all those things that when you have a business, when you own a company, that you have to do, all the planning, all the financial aspects of it, and all of those things. Yes, like they make sense, of course. You have a partnership, you have clients, you have responsibilities, you have employees. But that's wonderful. And that's how that works. But in the spiritual world, it's all, there's aspects of that, but it's actually completely turned upside down because the universe, spirit is completely driving all of it and putting energetic conviction. I am listening to the cues, the nudges, the pulls, the visions, the whispers, all the things that I get continually. And I put one foot in front of the other. And the opportunities that come to me, I gobble them up and I buy the tickets. I spend the money. I do the things that I need to do to take me to the next thing, no matter how fearful they are, like getting on a podcast and channeling live in front of 158,000 people that saw me. There was nothing more scary than that for me. And
Yeah.
that's karma too. That's karma. That's my soul work. I know I've been prosecuted and killed and convicted, like persecuted, sorry, not prosecuted, maybe prosecuted in those lifetimes.
Yeah.
But I know that that's part of me closing that karma. But I actually was in meditation a couple of days ago and they talked to me. Oh my God, Nicole, I forgot about this. They said all that you had begun before in your other lifetimes will be compounded and brought back to you. So it's like everything I ever scribble, everything I have ever started before in every single one of those lifetimes is being brought back now to be completed. Like it's compounded. So I saw it like like a lasagna. You know what I mean? Like all
Yeah.
this, all the layers on top of each
Compressed.
other. Compressed, right?
Like in a little zip file.
In a little zip file. Get a little download.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But yeah, I mean that's what it is. And how do I know? Because I have always known from the very beginning, from the very first vision in 2020, that this is huge. It's huge. And I built my platform so that it could scale. I didn't just do it on a little mediocre site that I could just fix and do myself. I build websites for clients. No, I knew I had to leverage my house and take my equity out of my house to build this community because it needed to house, I would say, millions of people. It is going to house these people who are coming en masse. En masse. Salt shaker goes, oh, they're there. That's how that's how I've always seen it. And talk about like synchronicities, talk about like people that are coming into alignment. I had a reading with this person haphazardly, this guy that I follow that I've had a reading with. This will be the third one in 5 years. They happen so easily and organically. It's crazy. He's never said the things he said to me before until this weekend. It happened when I was in Las Vegas with Dina. We saw him on Facebook and I said, oh my God, he's there. He's never live. He's never doing readings live. He was there. And he's like, Pamela, I'm going to, be on for a couple more minutes. If you want a reading, do the PayPal thing. I was like, I'm doing it. And he was like, Pamela, you are being led to this huge mission. Like things he's never said before because everything just went whoop. because I get on one podcast that brings me in front of, however many people. They just reached 1 million on YouTube, to someone who's got 4.1 million on Instagram and 30 top 30 podcasts in the world. He's not conscious. There's a reason for that. I am meeting the masses. I'm not meeting the spiritual people. I'm meeting the people who are, their glass ceiling has broken. They don't know what they're looking, because they don't have the background yet. They don't understand. So they're going to resonate with it. They're going to see it. They're going to know the council's messages are going to be there for them. They're going to have heard it, and they're going to come. And so, Nicole, like, that window is closing. So when I get these messages, I see what I've seen. They're all a part of this puzzle. We're all putting this puzzle together that we see in front of our eyes to try and understand it. As somebody who's receives visions and downloads and messages and all these things, that's my three-dimensional experience, is trying to put it all together. What I receive is trying to put it all together.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's, there's, as you allow yourself to embrace the fear and do it anyway, especially when it costs you a lot of money and there's the potential of losing a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
different things, I think that's where a lot of people struggle,
Mm-hmm.
where, they're waiting for the right conditions.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not how spirit
No,
works.
it's not how spirit works. I had to. Part of my work is to push through fear with money. It's to push through fear. So for me, to leverage my house, which is all that I really had, because I lost everything in the recession. I lost everything, our retirement, our savings. We lost everything. So the little bit that I had was in my house in this beautiful little town that was, a very affluent town. Well, I just knew I had the knowing. I had to take the equity line of credit. I had to leverage the equity that I had in my house. They're the convictions. Like, I heard, is it Saturn? All the energy that you put into the universe, all the work, whether it's good or bad, it's all coming back to you. And, I hear these things, and they make sense to me, because pushing through that fear to leverage the house, and then having received the vision in 2023, I saw a for sale by owner sign in front of my house. I was told how much to sell it for as is. And I woke up and said, okay, hey, shit, this is it. Then I have to sell my house, because I don't want to be upside down on it. Now it's my job to listen to what I'm receiving, to get the money to pay off the line of credit, to have the funds to market this bad boy for 2024, to do the next part of what needed to get done, to bring me to the next thing that needs to get done, which was next level soul that just popped into my inbox. It's crazy,
Mhm.
crazy in a good way. And then the next person who just reaches out, I had nothing to do with it. So I see those dominoes,
Yeah.
dots connecting, breadcrumbs, gobble them up. Those sorts, and that's what we have to do. So it's scary. You might be feeling, somebody listening right now might be feeling the same exact thing. I am in a loveless relationship. I am so worthy of love. I do not have to accept this as my future. Fear does not have to rule me and make my decision for that. I can have, everything is available to me. I have to move forward through that fear to embrace love, opportunity, everything on the other side of that. And it's there when you make that conviction, when you show that to the universe.
Yeah.
You know, you got to do it. It's
Yeah.
hard work. It's not easy.
No.
Spirituality is not rainbows, sunshines, and unicorns. It's not. It's the hard stuff. You have to go through the hard stuff.
You need the spirituality to help you get through the hard stuff,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Like
Yeah.
it doesn't
And the thing you said,
absolve
you
you
get,
of the hard
yeah.
stuff. No.
Mm-mm. You
No.
get to, like you said, you get to. And the hard stuff is the good stuff, though.
Yeah. And
And
all of the things that I've really wanted have come with facing big fears, big
mhm,
challenges, having to believe in a situation when like everything else looked like it might not, and
mhm,
lean into it even harder.
Mm-hmm.
not just stick a toe in, but like jump all in like you are, like that. It's so true. And if you
Mm-hmm.
wait for the right conditions, um, you're operating
Mm-hmm.
on conditional energy. Well,
Yeah, in a
you're never
nonstop
going to get
waiting
what you
phase.
want on conditions like that.
Never.
No.
You
Uh-uh.
make a decision this
Yeah.
way or that way, and you go for it, and you own it,
Yeah.
and you do it.
Yeah.
And you'll see your life change. I say this every day.
Hmm.
If you've got love or fear, stop choosing the fear, man. Just start choosing the love.
Yeah.
That's one small thing that you can do and watch things get better. So start with small things and watch things get better. And then that just starts to roll in that direction. And then if you make a decision and you say, you know what, I'm done with this. I never want to do this again. You have to understand that the universe is going to tee some stuff up for you to make that decision again and again, because you have to show the universe that you don't want that again. You have to show the universe you don't want that again.
Hmm.
And then that's an energetic conviction, just like the taking of the money or the other thing. Like, you know, they're the hard things. It's hard, easy. You have to make the hard choices first to have the ease on the other side. Hard, easy, hard, easy.
Yeah. Yeah. So on that note, shall we complete this with a little channeling?
Yes, we could.
Is there anything like, do you need me to ask a question or like, how does it work?
Yeah, so we can try that. And I'm sure that you'll be able to ask the right kind of question.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see
All
how
right.
it goes.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, they come in very quickly now. Yes,
Oh,
we are
well,
here. We are
okay.
here. We are here. Sorry, that's me laughing. That was so fast. And I'm unlike a lot of other channelers. I can go in and out really quickly.
Okay.
But also my mind can get in the way. But we have such nice energy, and I love you, and you're my friend. So it's like it's a different kind of energy. Okay,
Mhm.
we are
Okay.
here. Yes, we are here.
All right. Thank you. So I guess let's see, question to ask. Is there a specific pivotal moment this year where there is an opportunity to choose something differently for a favorable outcome, whether it's
Oh
collect
yes, yes. There is always an opportunity to choose an outcome that is favorable. Yes, indeed. See, your question has two sides. Every choice, you have the opportunity to choose a favorable outcome. It depends on what it is that you desire to create for your life. Within each choice, as we have just heard Pamela say, you can move forward through love, or you can choose fear. With fear as your dial, the challenges that will come to you will be difficult in nature. More change, more contrast, difficult decisions, difficult experiences. If you choose a higher vibrational choice, you'll have more ease within your journey, you see.
Is there a pivotal moment coming up in this year where it's going to be a make or break situation?
Yes, there will be challenges for your planet, indeed. There will be multiple experiences that you will have. There will be shifts within your government, within your world's affairs. There will be war. There will be challenges, yes, indeed. For within the change, you will have the opportunity to move forward with difficult situations and understand that they have been created for you to experience, to understand, love at its core. For with the changes of the world, you are shifting the vibration of your planet, which will indeed shift the vibration of all that exists on planet Earth. Does that make any sense? I have no idea.
No, yeah, of course it makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
I come in and out of it, so it's interesting to me. And I don't know, you haven't seen me do this in a while. My body moves a lot now.
Okay. Well, you're embracing it all. Like that
Yeah.
means you're fully in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to continue?
Yeah. Is there anything you want me
You
to
can
ask?
edit this. You can edit this,
No,
right?
no, no,
Yeah.
no. I think
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
leave it raw,
Okay.
Is there anything okay, well, I'll ask one more question.
Okay.
hmm
Yes, we are here. We are here. We are happy to be here. Yes, we are here indeed.
If there is war coming this year, what is it preparing humanity for when it comes to the next level that humanity wishes to embrace?
Yes, they will shift their consciousness immediately upon the experience that they witness before their eyes. It will shift all that they know. There will be an instance where they see their world has been ever changed. They will not understand how to move through it. They have not had difficulties in this experienced. That will show them the ways of their world now are ever changed. Each individual will have their individual experience. Collectively, all will shift. On your planet, you will see consciousness in a moment will elevate. But the difficulty will be there for them to experience. It is not a desirable outcome that you would choose for your experience if you were in your three-dimensional form. But in your energetic being, it is an experience to learn vast amounts of love.
So it's a
Oh,
catalyst.
yes, that was a really strong one that I felt all the way down in my gut.
hmm
Like the experience that humankind will have.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I'm finding with a lot of these situations. Like, look back to COVID. Would any of us want to choose that for ourselves,
Mhm.
that whole
Mhm.
experience? No. But what did it do? It was a very rapid awakening for many
Mhm.
people. Like that, I
Mhm.
know so many people awakened during that time.
Mhm.
And it really caused major shifts to speed up. So, with the potential of war, which, of course, our human hearts don't want that. We don't want
Right.
that for people. But I can also see how it would act as a catalyst to a higher shift in vibration. It's
Mhm.
almost like it's being force fed high frequency. Now someone would be like, how do you get force fed high frequency through war? It's not so much the war itself, it's what the
Experience.
war awakens within
Mhm.
all of
Mhm.
us.
Mhm. Absolutely. That's exactly right. And that's
hmm
the feeling that I just got in my belly. It's that you wouldn't ask for that on a three-dimensional
Yeah.
experience. You would never ask for that. But in your energetic soul body, you asked for that immediate expansion of consciousness. I mean, that must be to be able to have all of this three-dimensional experience where you're learning love every single day, every single choice. That's your primary focus of coming here. And they say to other worlds is to learn love. That's your
hmm
frequency, that's your consciousness. So and they've said it so many times in an instant, like everything, just like COVID, dynamic shift on the planet, the same thing, the same thing. Everyone's
Yeah.
like, this could never happen to us.
Yeah.
This could never happen to us. I remember, I remember there's been several times in my as I'm waking up in the beginning where I'd say like, we really haven't gone through a tremendous, tremendous difficulty. Like we didn't go through, my grandparents went through the Depression and there were other wars, Vietnam wars and different things. But I remember thinking like, if this divorce is like the worst thing, it can't be the worst thing I've ever gone through. I remember thinking that, thinking of contrast, but I wasn't thinking about consciousness, right?
hmm
And yeah, I mean, who wants to think about a war and the weapons that we have now? And that's one of the things I heard in 2020, weapons of mass destruction. You know, one of the things I heard in the middle of the night was tectonic plates shifting. I had dreams about tsunamis. Like these are all our planet in upheaval, our vibration shifting, things happening, chunks of California or Japan falling into the ground. I mean, one after the other, and their probabilities, right? They talk about timelines. Sometimes they say to me, there is a very high chance, a high probability that this will happen because humankind is choosing this through their choices. Like they see it. It's almost like a motherboard, they can see it happening. So yeah, I don't know what they said.
Well, you'll be able to listen back when this
Yeah.
airs for sure.
You're a good question asker. Not everyone is.
Well, I was totally on the spot, so I don't know. I was like, oh, think of something fast. But that was like lovely. And I think, oftentimes when you want change and you want change now, be careful what you're asking for because how it shows up will likely not be in the package that you requested or you're
That's
expecting.
exactly right.
And so that's just something that we have to always keep in mind. And as we're going through this rapid evolution of change and innovation, even within our own human race and our minds and our hearts, that sometimes it's the contrast of what we think is our best that's going to actually get us the results that we're looking for.
That's true.
And that's kind of a hard pill to swallow at times.
It is, but it's just the way it is. It is.
So, well, Pamela, thank you so much for coming on.
Yes,
the
Miss
show.
Nicole. You're very welcome. This has been fun.
So let my audience know if they want to maybe join Spirit Calling or work with you. I know you've got your big YouTube channel and everything going on there. So let my audience know where they can find you.
Yeah, sure. So you can find me several different places. A spiritual community that I created is Spirit Calling. It's spirit-calling.com. YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok are at Spirit Calling Pamela. But I'm really excited to talk about, I have a new Awakening Accelerator Mastermind that I'm launching in the middle of April. And that's going to be like a group experience. There's only 10 people that I'm allowing to be part of this group so that I can give everyone attention. It's going to be guidance each week with me and the council. So we're going to support each other. We're going to be able to download channel messages from the Great Council of Light to help expand and accelerate your spiritual journey. Then I have one-on-one soul path sessions with people where I channel messages. We work with them. We strategize. It's amazing. But the most exciting thing of all is I channeled, the council channeled pineal gland activation. It's the bomb. It is so powerful, Nicole. It's incredible. So that is available now on my website. There's a bundle. There's a connecting to your spirit guides. There's an abundance meditation, and there's pineal gland activation. So the guides want everyone to have this. They want everyone to be able to work to activate their pineal gland so that they can receive higher guidance, especially right now. So that's spirit-calling.com. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Oh, well, I will leave those links in the show notes for all of you watching.
Okay.
And Pamela, thank you so much for joining me. It's so good to connect with you.
You're welcome.
Share some vibes with you.
You too.
And to my audience, I love you guys so much. And don't forget, the 3-day 180 retreat is about 6 weeks away. So if you would like to secure your spot, it's time to jump on that. I'm leaving the link to secure your ticket in the description below. And of course, if you're looking for the exit to your healing journey, meaning finding the natural completion point to something you've been working on for months, maybe years, maybe decades for some of you, I highly suggest the Healing Exit Strategy Masterclass. You will absolutely be blown away with the accuracy of how we pinpoint your velocity point, and you'll get to see my new programmed AI at work, which people have been asking me to get access to. So look at all of that. That's in there for you guys. I love you so much, and we will be back with you next week. Thanks again for joining me for another show on the Enlighten Up podcast. I love you guys so much for all of your continued support. So remember to raise your vibe, find your tribe, and be open to the infinite possibilities held in the mysteries that surround us all. Thanks again for sharing the show with your family and friends. And if you're new to the show and you need to find out more information about me, please head on over to my website, NicoleFrolick.com, where you can join my newsletter. And please follow me on Instagram, Telegram, and YouTube. Keep your light bright, and I'll see you next week.